Come in. Welcome to the tavern. I have something I want to talk to you about. So come, gather round me, friends, whilst I tell you a tale of a far-off land. It is said to be the land where the ancestors travelled from, bringing their traditions and practices over to the continent of Monarcha. These traditions and practices survived the downfall of the Antius Empire, and were then adopted by the Ondarian monarchy. We celebrate the Ember Festival in the depths of winter because it brings about the change of the year, the first steps towards spring, and the first sign of the crops growing once again in our fields. But let me tell you the tale of how the festival came to be revived upon a somewhat fortuitous discovery. In the vast expanse of the continent of Monarcha, where empires rose and fell like the tides, the tale of the Winter's Ember Festival found its way across borders and became a thread woven into the fabric of different cultures. It was a story that transcended time and distance, carried by winds and whispers, until it reached the lands of the mighty Antius Empire. In the heart of the Antius Empire, a wise scholar named Aurelius came across ancient texts recounting the legends of the Winter's Ember. Captivated by the tale of Ilara and the magical ember that thawed the frozen land of Eldoria, Aurelius was determined to bring this symbol of hope and unity to his people. With the blessings of the emperor, Aurelius organized a grand celebration, introducing the Winter's Ember Festival to the Antian people. The once reserved and stern citizens of the empire embraced the festivities with open hearts, realizing the power of coming together during the bleakest of times. Generations passed, and the flame of the Winter's Ember continued to burn brightly within the hearts of the Antian people. However, as the empire crumbled and the Ondarian monarchy rose to power, the festival faced a period of uncertainty. The Ondarian monarchy, though initially hesitant to adopt the traditions of its predecessor, soon recognized the profound significance of the Winter's Ember. In the depths of winter, when the cold winds howled and the snow blanketed the Ondarian landscape, the people found solace in the age-old festival. The monarchy, eager to unite its diverse subjects, embraced the Winter's Ember as a symbol of continuity and shared heritage. For it is written within the texts of the Grand Chamber of the Ondarian Council, by decree of the first monarch, a remembrance of that first Ondarian Ember Festival. In the darkest hours of winter, when the Ondarian lands lay beneath a frosty veil, the people rejoiced in the most ancient festival of all. The Winter's Ember became a beacon of unity, a flame that divided the chill of political change and brought together a kingdom in need of warmth. As the tale unfolds, it goes on to speak of the monarch, who, surrounded by advisors and courtiers, nods in understanding. The Winter's Ember Festival, once a foreign tradition, now became an integral part of the Ondarian culture, binding the people together in shared celebration. And so, in the heart of the Ondarian monarchy, the Winter's Ember Festival flourished, embracing the echoes of Eldoria's ancient tale and the resilience of its people. As the festival's glow illuminated the winter nights, the people celebrated with a sense of triumph. In the quiet moments of winter's embrace, the Ondarian people gather beneath the flickering lights, celebrating not only the passing of the coldest nights, but the enduring spirit of unity that transcends borders and time. For in celebration of the winter's ember, they find the warmth that sustains them through the longest of nights and the promise of brighter days to come. And there ends the tale of the Ember Festival according to our official accounts. However, my friends, there is a different story which I will also tell you. It is a much more traditional one too, for there are many who say this is the true tale of the Ember Festival. In the ancient kingdom of Eldoria, nestled between snow-capped mountains and dense forests, there existed a time-honoured tradition that warmed the hearts of its people during the cold winter months. As the days grew shorter and the air crisper, the citizens of Eldoria eagerly awaited the arrival of the Winter's Ember Festival. The Winter's Ember Festival marked the transition from the harsh biting winds of early winter to the promise of the coming spring. It was a celebration of light and warmth, a time for families to come together, and a chance for the kingdom to cast away the shadows that clung to the longest nights. On the eve of the festival, the townsfolk gathered in the central square, where a towering evergreen tree stood adorned with glistening crystals and radiant charms. The air was filled with the scent of pine and the laughter of children as they ran through the snow-covered cobblestone streets. Let us hear one of the voices of those long-past Eldorians as they tell us their memories of these times. Long ago, in a time when the world was still young, Eldoria faced a winter so bitter that it seemed the very essence of warmth had fled. The land lay shrouded in an eternal frost, and the people despaired for the return of the sun. In our darkest hour, a wise elder by the name of Ilara ventured into the heart of the frozen forest. There she communed with the spirits of nature and discovered a magical ember, a flame that burned with the warmth of hope. Ilara brought the ember back to the kingdom and kindled a fire that banished the cold and brought light to the coldest corners of Eldoria. As the storyteller spoke, the Eldarian townsfolk listened with rapt attention, their eyes fixed on the flickering flames that danced within the lanterns lining the square. The winter's ember became a symbol of resilience and unity, continued the storyteller. And so, each year, the people of Eldoria come together to honor the ember's gift. Tonight, as we gather beneath the tree, let us remember the strength that lies in community and the light that can be found even within the darkest of times. With those words, the townsfolk joined hands, encircling the grand tree. A hush fell over the square as the first notes of a haunting melody filled the air. Musicians played ancient tunes on instruments crafted from the wood of sacred trees, and voices joined in harmony, singing songs that had been passed down through generations. And so, in the heart of Eldoria, beneath the illuminated branches of the winter's ember tree, the people celebrated not just the passing of winter's chill, but the enduring spirit of hope and the bonds that held their community together. As the festival unfolded, the Eldorian storyteller's voice faded into the background, leaving only the laughter, music, and radiant glow of a kingdom united in the warmth of the winter's ember. As the firelight flickers in the hearth, and the winter's ember festival casts its warm glow over the faces of the gathered people, I find myself contemplating the intricate tapestries of stories that brought this celebration to the heart of the Ondarian monarchy. The truth, like the ever-shifting shadows in the fire's dance, remains elusive. Some say it was the sagacious Aurelius, fueled by his scholarly curiosity, who brought the winter's ember to the lands of the Antius Empire. Others argue that the festival's roots stretch far beyond the continent's borders, carried by winds and sea currents until it found a new home in the embrace of the Ondarian people. The official records of the Antius Empire stand as a testament to Aurelius's efforts, a chronicle etched into the stone of history. Yet there is a quiet whisper in the wind, an echo from distant shores that suggests a more ancient origin for this cherished celebration. In the end, perhaps it matters not which version of the tale one chooses to believe, for the Winter's Ember Festival, with its radiant lights and joyous songs, has become a living story, shaped by the hands of those who celebrate it. It is a narrative that transcends the confines of parchment and ink, weaving itself into the very fabric of the Ondarian people's lives. As for myself, in my opinion, whether it was born of scholarly ambitions or arrived on the breath of the ocean, the Winter's Ember Festival has become a tradition that unites the people during the darkest, coldest days with the warmest of hearts. It is a time when differences fade away and the flickering flames remind us all of the enduring power of hope and unity. As I stand here, surrounded by the laughter and camaraderie of the festival, I realize that the true magic lies not in the certainty of historical records, but the shared experience of celebration. So let the scholars debate the origins, and the storytellers spin their tales. In the end, it is the people who breathe life into the festival, each heart a testament to the enduring warmth found in the winter's ember. And so, under the starlit sky and the soft glow of lanterns, the people of the Ondarian monarchy continue to gather, year after year, celebrating the Winter's Ember Festival with a shared understanding that, regardless of its origins, has become a cherished part of their history. In the unity of celebration, the festival thrives, an everlasting flame that guides them through the darkest nights, and kindles the fire of connection in their hearts. A tavern in Ondar City during the Winter Ember Festival. The atmosphere is lively with the warmth of flickering candles and the sound of merry laughter. The rustic wooden interior of the tavern is adorned with festive decorations, and the air is filled with the scent of roasted meats and spiced ales. Aaron, a charismatic bard with a lute strapped across his back, and Jacoby, a scholarly figure with parchment and quill in hand, sit at a corner table. The Winter Ember Festival is in full swing outside. Ah, Jacoby, my scholarly companion, can you feel the excitement in the air? The Winter Ember Festival has finally arrived in Ondar City. Indeed, Aaron. It is a splendid time. The city comes alive with colours and sounds. I heard the market square is filled with merchants from distant lands. And the food stalls. Have you tried the spiced venison yet? It's a delicacy, my friend. A true delight for the taste buds. Not yet, Aaron, but I plan to. My scholarly pursuits have left my stomach quite neglected, and the Winter Ember Festival seems like the perfect time to rectify that. Well said, Jacoby. But you know as much as I enjoy the festivities outside, there's something about being in a tavern that feels like the heart of it all. The warmth, the camaraderie, and of course, the music. You're right, Aaron. The heart of the festival is in here, in the company of good people, good drink, and good food. Speaking of which, did you hear about the storyteller who's come all the way from the enchanted forest? They say he has tales that can make a dragon weep. No, I haven't. We must seek him out later. But for now, let us revel in the joy of the Winter Ember Festival, right here in our beloved tavern. To good times, my friend. The tavern is abuzz with the lively chatter of patrons, the clinking of tankards and the warmth of a roaring fire. The atmosphere is festive, with the Winter Ember Festival decorations adorning every corner. Lorenzo, a spirited adventurer with a sword at his side, and Dean, his equally adventurous companion with a bow slung across his back, sit at a table near the hearth. Dean! Did you hear the news? They say there's a mysterious figure lurking near the border of the forest realm of Juridia. A figure connected to the Winter Ember Festival, no less. A mysterious figure? What kind of connection are we talking about? Legend has it that this figure is the keeper of ancient knowledge. Someone who knows the secrets of the Winter Ember Festival that have been lost to time. And get this, if we can find them and bring them to Ondar City, we could make history. Not to mention, we'd be richer than kings and famous across the realms. Richer than kings, you say? That's a tempting proposition, Lorenzo. But how do we find this mysterious figure? Rumour has it that they've been seen near the hills, just beyond the border of Juridia. Some even claim to have glimpsed them during the festival before. I say we gear up, venture into the wilds, and track down this living legend. I'm with you, Lorenzo, but we should be cautious. The forest realm is known for its enchantments and dangers. We don't want to end up in the clutches of some forest spirit. Agreed, Dean. We'll tread carefully. Imagine the stories we'll have to tell if we succeed. The tavern tales will be sung about us for generations. The Winter Ember Festival continues to envelope the tavern in an atmosphere of celebration. A newcomer, having learnt about the Winter Ember Festival and possible opportunities for business it could entail, approaches the landlord to discuss some of the potential locations where they may be able to make new contacts. Aye, it's a grand celebration indeed. Ondar City knows how to make the Winter Ember Festival memorable.
Absolutely. Speaking of celebrations, I come bearing news from the capital city of Avalon in the kingdom of Lioness. I am a visitor from Avalon, and I'm here with the hopes of starting a trade route between the various Ondarian cities and my workshops on the outskirts of Avalon.
A trade route, you say? That's quite ambitious. What do you specialise in?
Me? I am a craftsman. Renowned for my fine tapestries and intricate pottery. The workshops near Avalon have been flourishing, and I believe the craftsmanship would be well received in the diverse markets of Ondar.
Tapestries and pottery, you say? Those are always in demand, especially during festivals like this. Ondar City in particular is known for its appreciation of the arts. The only other city I can really think of that's the same is Garrelos.
That's precisely why I've come. The Winter Ember Festival provides a perfect opportunity to showcase the quality of Lioness craftsmanship. I plan to travel to various Ondarian cities, including Garrelos, and establish a lasting trade relationship.
Well, you've chosen the right time. The people here are appreciative of quality work, and the festival draws merchants and patrons from far and wide. You might just find yourself a prosperous market.
I certainly hope so. Your tavern in particular seems like a gathering place for both locals and visitors. It's the perfect spot to learn more about the tastes and preferences of the people.
You're astute. If you need any assistance navigating the markets or finding potential partners, don't hesitate to ask. We may not have Maximus's flair for the dramatic, but we're a friendly bunch.
Thank you, kind landlord. To new friendships and prosperous ventures in Ondar.
They clink their tankards together, toasting to the Winter Ember Festival, the Tavern, and the potential success of the newcomers' trade endeavours in the enchanting realm of the Ondarian monarchy. A small candle flickers on a wooden table, casting a warm glow in the cosy room. The man, clad in clothes hinting at his foreign origin, sits at the table, quill in hand, and parchment spread before him. The sounds of the Winter Ember Festival drift through the open window. My dearest friend, it has been far too long since my last letter, and I trust this one finds you in good health and high spirits. I write to you from Ondar City, a place vastly different from the pot town of Nightsong where we last parted ways. The Winter Ember Festival is upon us. A celebration unlike any I've ever experienced. The streets are adorned with colorful decorations and the air is filled with laughter and music. It is a spectacle of lights and joy, a stark contrast to the somber traditions of our homeland. The people here have embraced me with open arms, but I cannot help but feel a pang of nostalgia for the quiet nights by the sea and the customs we held dear. The Winter Ember Festival is a revelation of cultural differences. The festivities here are lively, the food exotic, and the music unfamiliar. I have learned to appreciate it, to partake in the revelry, but deep down, I wonder how our people would perceive such a festival. I have accepted these customs, for in a foreign land, one must adapt to thrive. However, I question whether others from our homeland would be as accepting. The traditions are deeply ingrained, and the Winter Ember Festival is a world apart from what we know. I can almost hear their disapproval, the whispers of dissent against such foreign revelry. Oh, my friend, you know how I've always been the adventurer, willing to embrace the unknown. But I fear the Winter Ember Festival would be a cultural shock for our people. The songs, the dances, the merriment, all so different from the stoic rituals of our homeland. I long for the day we can share our tales of our journeys in person. Until then, know that you are always in my thoughts, and I eagerly await your response. With warmth and camaraderie, Ezekiel. The man signs the letter with a flourish, folds it carefully and seals it with wax. He places the letter on the windowsill, letting the breeze carry his words into the festive night of Ondar City. The tavern is alive with the merriment of the Ember Festival celebrations. The landlord, a stout and grizzled man, wipes a tankard behind the bar as Maximus. The flamboyant manager and founder of the caravan bursts through the door with a flair that demands attention. Ha! Good evening, dear landlord. Maximus has arrived, bringing joy and merriment to your humble abode. What brings you here, Maximus? And please spare me the theatrics. No need to be so serious, my friend. I've got a proposition for you. One that'll turn this quaint little tavern into the talk of the town. Maximus, last time you had a proposition, half my chairs were smashed and I had to replace the stained glass windows. What's your idea this time? Behold, I bring you the most exquisite belly dancers in all the realm. Picture it, a night of mesmerizing dances, laughter and celebration, right here in your establishment. I appreciate the offer, Maximus, but I'm not interested in turning my tavern into a spectacle. Last time you bought a mystical fortune teller, and she cursed half my patrons. Are minor details. Tonight is different. These dancers are professionals, and I guarantee you they won't break a single glass. Maximus, I can't risk it. My tavern is standing this Winter Ember Festival, and I intend to keep it that way. No belly dancers. Well then, landlord, perhaps another time. I'll find a tavern more willing to embrace the joy of the caravan. Good luck with that, Maximus, and keep your joy away from my establishment. Maximus exits with a theatrical flourish, leaving the tavern in a mix of relief and lingering skepticism. The landlord shakes his head, returning to his duties, determined to keep the Winter Ember Festival celebration at his tavern drama-free for once. The tavern is filled with the sounds of revelry and the warm glow of flickering candles. Two refined gentlemen seated in a quiet corner sip from pint pots of ale as Maximus makes his grand entrance. Well, looks like Maximus is up to his usual antics. Maximus. The man who can turn any celebration into a spectacle, whether you want it to or not. As much as I am curious about the caravan's performances, I suppose it's for the best he's being asked to leave. Maximus has a knack for leaving a trail of chaos in his wake. True. Remember the last time he brought that illusionist? Half the city was convinced they were living in a dream for a week. Or that fire breather who nearly set the inn on fire. Good times.
Hey, speaking of good times, it's your turn to fetch the next round.
Is it? I distinctly remember buying the first round.
But that was last night. We can't live in the past, my friend.
All right, let's not get too existential about buying a round of drinks.
But isn't the act of buying a drink a metaphor for the cyclical nature of life? We take turns, just like the seasons change.
I'll drink to that. A toast to the cycles of life and the responsibility of buying the next round falling on your shoulders.
They clink their glasses together, turning a mundane decision into a whimsical philosophical moment, their laughter blending with the festive ambience of the Winter Ember Festival outside the tavern. The Avalonian, who has witnessed Maximus enter the bar, moves over to talk to the landlord again. He seems disgusted by the scene he has just witnessed and wants to know more about the individual in question, for he knows an unsavory character when he sees one.
So, who's that fellow making a ruckus out there? Maximus, I think you called him?
Maximus, he's quite the character. Used to be part of a performing group known as the Troupe.
The Troupe? What happened?
Well, Maximus was their beast tamer, you see. Travelled the realms with them, putting on shows. But it wasn't all roses and sunshine. He never quite got along with the others, especially Shy and Arundella.
Shy and Arundella? Were they performers too?
Oh, indeed. Shy and Arundella were the belly dancers of the troupe. There was always tension between them and Maximus. They clashed like water and oil.
And now Maximus is here with his caravan. What happened to the troupe?
Well, the troupe disbanded, as these things often do. Differences in personalities, you know. But I suspect Maximus formed the caravan to compensate for what he believes he lost. A new show, a new spectacle with him at the centre.
So you say he didn't get along with his fellow performers?
That's putting it mildly. Shy and Arundella were the stars of the troupe. Graceful and enchanting. Maximus, on the other hand, always felt overshadowed. Now he tries to create the spectacle in his own unique manner.
Well, he certainly made a spectacle of himself just now.
Indeed, Maximus may bring chaos, but he's a showman at heart. Just best to keep him outside, and the peace inside.
The Avalonian nods, taking in the tale of Maximus and the troupe. As the Winter Ember Festival revelry continues around them, the landlord returns to his duties, knowing that the tale of performers' intentions are just another layer in the tapestry of the tavern's history. The Winter Ember Festival's fervour has subsided, and the tavern, while still highly decorated for the Winter Ember Festival, is bathed in a dim glow from the dwindling candlelight. Most patrons have left, leaving behind a few stragglers nursing their final drinks. The landlord surveys the room, making sure everyone has found their way home. In the shadowy corner, a mysterious figure sits alone, unnoticed. Until now.
Closing time, my friend. Time to make your way home.
My apologies. I lost track of time.
No trouble at all, but we're closing up. I'm afraid you'll need to leave.
The mysterious figure nods, slowly standing up. As they gather their belongings, they place a small, intricately carved pebble on the table. It bears the likeness of stars and a crescent moon, beautifully carved and painted. These are, the landlord thinks, ancient emblems of the Winter Ember Festival. Clearly, the newcomer has left it behind by accident, and as the visitor is about to open the tavern door to leave, the landlord calls out to them.
Hey, you forgot something.
Oh no, that's for you. A token of gratitude.
Gratitude? For what?
For keeping the spirit alive even when the festival revelry fades away. Never forget the true meaning of the Winter Ember Festival.
The figure's words hang in the air, and before the landlord can respond, they vanish into the cold night air, leaving the tavern in an eerie silence. Strange. The true meaning of the Winter Ember Festival. With curiosity, the landlord picks up the small pebble, examining the exquisite craftsmanship. The soft glow of the stars and moon seem to shimmer in the candlelight, leaving a sense of wonder in its wake. As the landlord gazes at the intricate pebble, the door creaks closed on its own, and a distant faint melody fills the night, echoing the magic of the Winter Ember Festival.